Shedeur Sanders knew the noise was coming. Then the question hit, and his answer shocked the entire NFL.
Have you talked to Todd Monken? He's reportedly said this morning that your role is to be determined.
Say it one more time.
Todd Monken said this morning that your role is to TBD, to be determined.
Mm-hmm.
What's your reaction?
I think like any position on the team, that's still to be determined. Am I excited about Shedeur? Am I excited about all the quarterbacks in the room? Am I excited to coach this football team? Absolutely.
Okay, so we're going to get to what you think Todd Monken should do with this situation, but you noticed something about what he said there that was interesting, Dan.
Well, he only said Shedeur's name.
I mean, that's what's expected. That's what's expected.
Picture this. You're Shedeur Sanders. You just wrapped your rookie season with the Cleveland Browns. It wasn't perfect, but you made the Pro Bowl. You're sitting on a couch doing media rounds, feeling good about yourself. And then, boom, a reporter hits you with the news that your new head coach basically just told the world you might not be the guy. Let's rewind to yesterday morning. Todd Monken's introductory press conference. The room is packed, cameras everywhere, and the first question everyone wants answered is Shedeur Sanders your starting quarterback?
I think like any position on the team, that's still to be determined. Am I excited about Shedeur? Am I excited about all the quarterbacks in the room? Am I excited to coach this football team? Absolutely. I can't wait for them to get back and for us to get started.
To be determined. TBD. Those three letters that every athlete dreads hearing about their job security. Now look, this is standard new coach speak. Every head coach who walks into a new building gives the same speech. But here's the thing. When you're a fifth-round rookie quarterback who just went 5-12 with your team and your new offensive genius head coach won't commit to you in his first press conference, that's not exactly a vote of confidence. The interview started off pretty normal. They're talking about his deep ball, his confidence, his relationship with players like Myles Garrett. Shedeur is giving thoughtful answers, being introspective, showing maturity beyond his years. Then the reporter casually drops this grenade.
Todd Monken said this morning that your role is to TBD, to be determined.
Mm-hmm.
What's your reaction to that? What does that mean to you when you hear that?
You can almost feel the air getting sucked out of the room. The reporter literally has to repeat herself because Shedeur's like, wait, what? This is the moment where the fairy tale crashes into reality. And here's where Shedeur shows you why he's different. Most rookies would have fumbled this moment, but watch how he handles it.
I mean, that's what's expected. That's what's expected. I think each and every day I have to prove to everybody and to myself also. So it's kind of like having goals and accomplishing those goals, whether it's small goals, and the small goals will end up to long-term success.
Perfect answer. He didn't flinch, he didn't complain, he took the high road and turned it into motivation. Because here's the brutal truth that nobody wants to say out loud. Shedeur Sanders is fighting for his NFL life right now, and he knows it. Browns just hired Todd Monken, one of the most respected offensive minds in football. This guy turned Lamar Jackson into a two-time MVP. He's worked with Kirby Smart at Georgia. He knows what elite quarterback play looks like. And when he looks at his roster, he sees a fifth-round rookie quarterback who finished his first season with more questions than answers. The national media isn't being kind either. ESPN's panel didn't hold back. Tim Hasselbeck was brutally honest about Shedeur's prospects.
No, and they won't. And I mean, that's just the reality of it. He'll be on the roster because he's on a rookie contract, or at least he'll be in the training camp roster. He's on a rookie contract from a year ago, much like Dylan Gabriel. Those guys, I would think, would add, the Browns would add, somebody with starter experience to compete, because there's just no way with just, probably what the evaluation has been of Shedeur, as a player in the pros now, as well as how he came into the league, that they would give him the opportunity to, quite frankly, I don't think he would even enter training camp as the second guy, on the roster.
Third second guy. Not starter, not even backup. Third string. That's what one of the most respected quarterback analysts in the media is saying about a Pro Bowl rookie. Let that sink in. And it gets worse. Hasselbeck doubled down on his evaluation, talking about physical limitations, about how no team in the league would look at Shedeur right now and say, "Yep, I want to build around that guy." He's not trying to be mean, he's just calling it like he sees it. And in the NFL, perception becomes reality real quick. The other analysts agreed. Damian Woody called him a fifth-round quarterback with highlights, but not the body of work. They talked about bringing in veteran competition, maybe drafting another quarterback, filling that room with guys who will push Shedeur to the bottom of the depth chart. But here's where everyone needs to pump the brakes, because while the media is busy writing Shedeur's obituary, they're completely missing the case for why Cleveland should absolutely roll with him as QB1. The kid made the Pro Bowl as a rookie on a 5-win team with a coaching staff that got fired, with an offensive line that was Swiss cheese, with receivers who couldn't separate, and he still got selected to the Pro Bowl. When was the last time a fifth-round rookie quarterback did that? When was the last time any rookie quarterback on a terrible team earned that kind of recognition? The Pro Bowl might not mean what it used to, but it means something. It means his peers and coaches around the league saw enough to say, yeah, that kid belongs in the conversation. While everyone's focused on the losses, they're ignoring what Shedeur actually accomplished in year one. He finished with the most yards gained per pass completion among all rookies. That's not a fluke. That's arm talent. That's vision. That's the ability to push the ball downfield and create explosive plays. And Todd Monken, the guy who's supposedly questioning whether Shedeur is the answer, he runs an offense that thrives on exactly that kind of quarterback. Here's what nobody's talking about. Monken's offensive philosophy is literally built for a quarterback like Shedeur. When asked what system he runs, Monken said it himself.
And the way I'll try to phrase it is to score any way possible. I don't care what it takes to score. It's about scoring points. I would hate to put some sort of any type of connotation as to what system that we are, other than playing to our players' strengths.
Playing to your players' strengths. That's the key phrase right there. And what are Shedeur's strengths? Elite accuracy on intermediate and deep throws, quick processing, ability to manipulate defenses with his eyes, pocket presence that's advanced for his age. Those are tools you can build an offense around. Monken continued talking about his philosophy, and this is where it gets really interesting.
Including myself, have been able to do is take advantage of what a player can do and not what they can't do. Every player in the NFL is elite, and they all have a trait, at least one trait, that allows them to, I don't want to say this, allows them to function, play at a high level. You just got to find what that is and not try to put a...
You have an offensive coordinator who built his entire reputation on adapting schemes to quarterback strengths, who turned Lamar Jackson, and running quarterback that everyone said couldn't throw, into the most efficient passer in football. And now people think he can't figure out how to maximize Shedeur Sanders? That doesn't add up. Cleveland doesn't have a better option. They can bring in a veteran journeyman, sure. They can draft another quarterback, but why? What does that solve? You're either all in on finding your franchise quarterback, or you're stuck in quarterback purgatory forever. The Browns have been trapped in that cycle for 2 decades. How many different quarterbacks have they started since 1999? 30 different starting quarterbacks. That's not a development problem. That's a commitment problem. It's the constant belief that the grass is greener, that the next guy will be better, that you can't trust what you've got. And here's Shedeur, a rookie who showed legitimate flashes, made the Pro Bowl, and has the mental makeup to be a franchise quarterback. But they're already talking about bringing in competition before he's even had a real off-season with the new coaching staff. Andrew Barry, the GM, laid out what they were looking for when they hired Monken. He talked about needing someone who could develop young players, someone with offensive innovation, someone who could handle significant roster turnover. And then he said this about Monken.
It became very apparent in everybody that we talked to about Todd how strong he was working and developing with young players. I think that's one of the beauties of Todd's experience is he does have pro and college experience as a coach, and that transfers in terms of how he leads and grows.
developing young players. That's what they hired him for. So why would they give up on their young quarterback before giving Monken a chance to actually develop him? The logic doesn't track. Unless, and here's the conspiracy theory, they're already planning to use those 2 first-round picks to move up for a quarterback in the draft. Maybe they've got their eye on someone they think is the real deal. Maybe Shedeur was always meant to be a bridge, a placeholder, until they could get their guy. But if that's the plan, it's a mistake, a massive mistake, because Shedeur showed you something in year 1 that you can't teach: poise under pressure. Go back and watch that Pro Bowl interview. The way he talks about adversity, about learning, about reaching out to resources like Michael Vick and Joe Flacco. That's not a guy who's faking it. That's genuine maturity, genuine self-awareness.
Everything in life, it has to happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's based off the decisions you make. So it has to happen. If I needed that so I could learn different things in life, then put me through that.
That's the response when asked about sitting for 12 weeks as a rookie. No bitterness, no excuses, just acceptance and a hunger to grow. How many 23-year-olds respond like that? How many veteran quarterbacks have that kind of perspective? And then he drops this gem about what he learned from the waiting period.
But it's not just about football, though. It's more about life. Like,
so what
football is a game, but it's more about the game of life, though. You know? So it's like, if you're in an uncomfortable situation, which a lot of everybody is pretty much in that in life, you know, then what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Are you gonna complain? Are you gonna feel some type of way? Or are you gonna lean on, if it's something, you're not gonna always be prepared for every aspect of life, but it's like.
This is a kid who gets it. He understands the bigger picture. He's not just focused on throwing touchdowns, he's focused on becoming a complete leader. The kind of leader who can carry a franchise. The kind of leader who won't crack when things get hard. And things will get hard in Cleveland. They always do. The fans are desperate. The media is brutal. The division is murderous with Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati. You need a quarterback who can handle that pressure, who can stay composed when everything is falling apart around him. Speaking of Myles Garrett, that's another reason to commit to Shedeur. Garrett is the best defensive player in football, and he's starting to lose patience with the losing. When asked about Garrett, Shedeur's response was telling.
I appreciate Myles a lot. I appreciate Myles a lot. He just, you want to always gain his respect. Like, that's somebody, like, for the first time, like, I'm like, dang, I got to do everything I can, you know, on the field and just be the same person every day, and with the weight room, everything, like, to earn his respect.
Shedeur understands that earning Myles' respect is crucial. He's thinking about what it takes to keep their franchise player engaged. He's thinking about team chemistry, about leadership, about culture. That's not selfish quarterback thinking. That's franchise quarterback thinking. He even acknowledges later that Garrett is a big reason why they need to win, why expectations are high, why he needs to perform. That kind of awareness, that kind of accountability, you can't coach that. Either you have it or you don't. Monken already has experience with Shedeur from afar. He prepared for him while coaching Baltimore. He saw the tape, he saw the arm talent, and when asked about Baltimore potentially wanting to draft Shedeur, he didn't deny they had interest.
Obviously, we had an affection, like a lot of teams, of Shedeur's skill set and what we thought he could become.
An affection for his skill set, what he could become. That doesn't sound like a coach who thinks Shedeur can't play. That sounds like a coach who sees potential but wants to develop it properly. The problem is Cleveland's impatience. The problem is a fan base that's been burned so many times they can't trust the process anymore. The problem is a media environment that demands instant results and instant answers. But building a quarterback doesn't work that way. Patrick Mahomes sat for a year behind Alex Smith. Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years behind Brett Favre. Jordan Love sat for 3 years behind Rodgers. The best quarterbacks in football weren't thrown to the wolves immediately. They were developed, nurtured, given time to grow. Shedeur Sanders earned the right to be QB1 in Cleveland. He earned it by surviving a nightmare rookie season and still showing enough promise to get recognized at the Pro Bowl. He earned it by demonstrating the mental toughness and maturity that you can't teach. He earned it by having the skill set that perfectly matches what Monken wants to do offensively.
The question isn't whether Shedeur should be the guy. The question is whether Cleveland has the patience and wisdom to let him become the guy. Based on their history, based on how they've handled every quarterback situation for the last 25 years, I'm not optimistic. But if they're smart, if they've learned anything from 2 decades of failure, they'll ignore the noise. They'll ignore Tim Hasselbeck's skepticism. They'll ignore the hot takes and the draft hype. They'll look at what they have in front of them, a young quarterback with talent, character, and hunger, and they'll give him the keys, because the alternative is more chaos, more turnover, more losing, and Cleveland fans deserve better than that. Shedeur Sanders deserves better than that.